In the noise of the world, in the chaos of the day, you owe yourself this 21 seconds. Close your eyes and say this prayer with your heart wide open. Today, I choose peace over pressure, purpose over panic. I am not who I was yesterday. I am stronger, wiser, and guided. I let go of what I cannot control and focus on what I can create. Every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. I am aligned, I am enough, and I am becoming. That's it. Just 21 seconds to reset your soul. Say it every morning. Say it before you sleep. Say it before you doubt yourself again. Because your words carry power. And your future begins with the prayers you whisper in faith today. In a world that moves at lightning speed, where everything demands our attention and distractions are just a click away, we rarely pause, we rarely breathe deeply, sit in silence, or give ourselves permission to reset. But what if it only took 21 seconds to bring yourself back to center? What if in less time than a commercial break or a social media scroll, you could speak life into your day, power into your soul, and clarity into your path? That's the invitation in saying this simple 21-second prayer. Not as a religious ritual, but as a mindful moment of truth, stillness, and power. Most people believe transformation requires hours of meditation, lengthy affirmations, or spiritual retreats. But the reality is, change begins with intention. And intention can be sparked in a matter of seconds. That's why this 21-second prayer matters, because it's not about the time it takes, it's about the truth it contains. In those few seconds, you're giving yourself permission to pause, to realign, to shake off the chaos of everything pulling at your energy and return to what's real, your breath, your belief, your purpose. When you say, today I choose peace over pressure, you're not just reciting words, you're making a conscious decision. Life throws pressure at us from every direction, expectations, bills, deadlines, relationships. But peace is something you choose, it's something you cultivate, protect, and prioritize. That one line alone is a reset button. It tells your body to relax, your mind to release, and your spirit to refocus. It's your way of saying, I may not control the storm, but I will not let it control me. And in the next line, I am not who I was yesterday. I am stronger, wiser, and guided. You acknowledge the growth that's already happening inside you, even if the world hasn't seen it yet. It's easy to forget how far we've come when we're caught in the grind. But reminding yourself daily that you are evolving shifts your energy. You're not stagnant. You're not stuck. You are in progress. You are becoming something better, something braver, something bolder. This line reclaims your narrative. It silences shame and replaces it with strength. Then you say, I let go of what I cannot control and focus on what I can create. That is one of the most liberating declarations you can make, because we spend so much of our energy worrying about what's out of our hands, what people think, how others behave, what might go wrong. But in that one moment, you choose to let go. You release the weight of anxiety and redirect your energy toward creativity, toward action, toward forward motion. You're not giving up, you're shifting focus. And that's where power lives. When the prayer moves to every setback is a setup for a greater comeback, you inject your spirit with resilience. Life will test you, no doubt. You'll lose things, face disappointments, hit walls. But this line reminds you that defeat is never final unless you quit. It reframes failure as fuel. It tells you that the very thing trying to break you might be the thing that builds your character. The comeback is always greater than the setback, but only if you believe it is. Only if you keep moving. And then it closes with, I am aligned, I am enough, and I am becoming. These aren't just words, they're affirmations rooted in truth. Alignment means you're no longer chasing what's wrong for you. You're walking in purpose. Enough means you're no longer seeking validation. You're already worthy. Becoming means you understand this is a journey, not a one-time fix. You are unfolding, growing, rising, and you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. So why does this matter? Because we all need anchors. We all need rituals that remind us of who we are when the world tries to tell us otherwise. A 21-second prayer isn't about ticking a box. It's about creating space. Space to breathe, to remember, to recharge. It's about choosing a different frequency to live on. One of hope, one of intention, one of strength. When you say this prayer every morning, you're not just speaking into the air, you're speaking into your future. You're declaring who you are before the world tries to define you. You're speaking life over your day before doubt, fear, or frustration have a chance to creep in. It becomes your spiritual armor, your mental reset, your emotional anchor. And the best part, you can do it anywhere. Before you get out of bed, in the shower, in your car, on your lunch break, before a big meeting, before sleep. It doesn't matter where. It only matters that you do it consistently, intentionally. Because over time, those 21 seconds compound. They form a habit, a rhythm, a foundation. Eventually, this prayer won't just be something you say, it'll be something you live. Peace will become your default. Growth will become your story. Resilience will become your reflex. And you'll find that the more you speak this into your life, the more your life will reflect it back. So don't underestimate the small things, the quiet moments, the whispered prayers. They carry power. And in a world that tries to pull you in 100 directions, this 21-second pause might be the most powerful thing you do all day. Not because it changes everything instantly, but because it changes you. And once you change, everything else starts to shift too. All it takes is 21 seconds. Today, I choose peace over pressure. That one line holds more weight than most people realize. In a world where we are constantly overwhelmed by deadlines, expectations, notifications, and responsibilities, making the conscious choice to embrace peace isn't just important. It's radical. We live in a society that glorifies busyness, rewards hustle, and praises those who are always grinding. But what if the most powerful thing you could do was slow down and reclaim your calm? What if peace became your superpower? Choosing peace over pressure doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you lack ambition or drive. It means you understand that your best work, your clearest thinking, your deepest creativity, those things come not from chaos, but from calm. Pressure can break you down, but peace builds you up. It gives you room to breathe, to think, to move with clarity and intention. When you choose peace, you're not running away from life's challenges. You're choosing to meet them from a centered place, grounded in who you are and what matters. Pressure tells you that you're not doing enough, that time is running out, that you're behind. It creates a sense of urgency, so strong it drowns out your inner voice. Peace, on the other hand, tells you to slow down, trust the process, and remember your purpose. Peace doesn't remove the challenges, it changes the way you respond to them. It's not the absence of difficulty, it's the presence of clarity. We all experience pressure. It shows up in different forms. The pressure to succeed, the pressure to please everyone, the pressure to be perfect, the pressure to look a certain way, live a certain way, think a certain way. And over time, that pressure becomes internalized. It begins to feel normal. You wake up already stressed. You go to bed with your mind racing. You start losing touch with who you are, and all you can think about is who you think you're supposed to be. But peace is your reset button. When you say, today I choose peace, you're breaking that cycle. You're reminding yourself that pressure is a choice. So is peace. You can't always change your circumstances, but you can always change your response. Peace starts in your mind. It starts with deciding that no matter what happens around you, you won't let it control what happens within you. You create space between stimulus and response. You pause, you breathe, you choose. This choice of peace begins with awareness. You have to notice the moments where pressure starts creeping in. Maybe it's that first email in the morning that reminds you of everything that's due. Maybe it's scrolling through social media and comparing your life to someone else's. Maybe it's a conversation that didn't go the way you hoped. In those moments, you have to catch yourself and say, I see the pressure, but I choose peace. That simple statement is powerful. It returns the power to you. It gives you authority over your thoughts and your energy. Peace also creates clarity. When you're under pressure, your decisions become reactive. You start doing things just to check them off. You say yes to things you don't want. You chase goals you don't even care about. But peace brings everything into focus. It helps you ask, is this aligned with my values? Does this serve my purpose? Is this worth my energy? You move from reaction to intention. And intention is where real transformation begins. Living from a place of peace also changes how you treat others. When you're constantly under pressure, you become short-tempered, anxious, defensive. You may not mean to, but you start projecting your stress onto the people around you. But when you choose peace, you show up differently. You listen more, you judge less. You speak with kindness. Your presence becomes healing for others. Not just for yourself, you create an atmosphere where people feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. There's also a deep kind of confidence that comes with peace. Because when you're not driven by pressure, you're not desperate for approval, you stop chasing validation from people who don't matter, you stop running after things that don't fulfill you. Peace is quiet, but it's powerful. It tells the world, I know who I am, I trust my timing, I believe in my path, and that inner knowing is stronger than any external pressure. Of course, choosing peace doesn't mean life gets easier. There will still be problems to solve, mountains to climb, storms to face, but peace equips you to face them differently. It gives you the emotional strength to endure without breaking. It gives you the mental clarity to find solutions. It gives you the spiritual grounding to stay true to yourself, no matter how loud the world becomes. Peace is a daily choice. It's not a one-time decision. Some days you'll slip back into pressure. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just notice it and choose again and again, until peace becomes your default setting, until calm becomes your natural state, until pressure loses its grip on you. So when you say, today I choose peace over pressure, don't take it lightly. Say it with conviction. Say it like a vow. Say it like your soul depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. Your health, your relationships, your dreams, they all thrive when you are at peace. They suffer when you live under pressure. In the grand scheme of things, 21 seconds is nothing. But if you fill those seconds with power, intention, and truth, they can change the entire tone of your day. And if you do it every day, it will start to change the entire direction of your life. One breath, one prayer, one peaceful choice at a time. I let go of what I cannot control and focus on what I can create. This is more than a sentence, it's a life philosophy, it's a mindset shift, a spiritual awakening, a form of emotional freedom. In a world where so much is uncertain, where things go wrong without warning and plans fall apart without explanation, we often find ourselves caught in the trap of trying to control the uncontrollable. We obsess over outcomes. We worry about what others think, what the future holds, or how things will unfold. But here's the truth. The more you try to control what's outside of you, the more powerless you feel. And the more you focus on what you can create within, the more powerful you become. There is real strength in surrender. That doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the illusion that you can micromanage life into perfection. Life is unpredictable by nature. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Markets will shift. Weather will change. Loved ones will make decisions that break your heart. And no matter how tightly you hold on, some things just aren't yours to control. That's not weakness, that's reality. And once you accept it, you can breathe again. Letting go is not a passive act. It's an active choice. It takes courage to release the grip. It takes maturity to say, this isn't mine to carry. It takes wisdom to know the difference between what is your responsibility and what is not. When you let go of what you can't control, you reclaim your energy. You free up the mental space that was consumed by worry, fear, and resistance. And you redirect that energy toward something productive, toward creation. You were born to create. That's your true power. You can create ideas, create progress, create peace, create change. You can build a business, write a book, paint a vision, lead a team, raise a family, or inspire a generation. But you can't do any of that if your mind is busy fighting battles. It was never meant to fight. You can't grow if all your energy is tied up in controlling things that were never in your hands to begin with. Creation flows from a free mind, and a free mind is one that knows when to let go. Every day, life will give you two options. Focus on what's broken, or focus on what you can build. Focus on what you've lost, or focus on what you can learn. Focus on who left, or focus on who you're becoming. That's the shift. That's the power. Letting go is how you make space for what's next. If your hands are full of everything you can't fix, how can you ever receive something new? How can you create something better? Think about how many hours you've spent worrying about things you couldn't change. How much emotional weight you've carried trying to fix people who didn't want to be fixed. How many days you've lost trying to plan every outcome to the last detail. And then despite all that effort, things still didn't go as expected. That's the painful beauty of life. It reminds us that control is a myth. But creation is real. You can shape your response. You can choose your perspective. You can decide what energy you bring into the room. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. You'll catch yourself falling back into the old patterns. You'll catch your thoughts spiraling around things you have no power over. When that happens, don't judge yourself. Just gently redirect. Remind yourself, I let go of what I cannot control. I focus on what I can create. Say it out loud if you need to. Write it down. Make it your mantra. Let it become the lens through which you view every challenge. Because what you focus on expands. If you focus on fear, you'll see more fear. If you focus on problems, you'll feel more stuck. But if you focus on creation, you'll start seeing opportunities, solutions, growth, progress. You'll start living from a place of purpose, not panic, from freedom, not fear. And here's the beauty of creation. It doesn't have to be big to be powerful. You don't need to write a bestseller or launch a company to make your life meaningful. You can create peace in your home. You can create kindness in a conversation. You can create space for someone to feel heard. You can create discipline in your routine. You can create beauty in the smallest details of your day. Every act of creation is an act of power. And when you begin to live from that space, everything changes. People who let go and create are magnetic. They're the ones who walk into a room and shift the energy. They don't waste time complaining or blaming. They move differently. They think differently. They inspire without even trying. Not because their life is perfect, but because they've learned to focus on what they can control, and that's their effort, their attitude, their actions. So when you say that line, I let go of what I cannot control and focus on what I can create, say it like a declaration. Say it like you mean it. Say it until it becomes the way you live. Because peace isn't found in control, it's found in creation. It's found in showing up every day with the willingness to build something new, even when everything feels uncertain. It's found in knowing that while you can't control the storm, you can still plant seeds, and those seeds will grow in time into something beautiful, something strong, something you created, because you let go. Every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. At first, this might sound like a motivational cliche, but sit with it for a moment. Let it sink in. Because this simple phrase carries a truth that can completely shift your mindset. Life is not a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs, wins and losses, breakthroughs and breakdowns. And it's often in the breakdowns where our greatest growth happens if we choose to see it that way. That's the power of this perspective. Setbacks aren't just roadblocks. They are redirections. They are setups, not full stops. Think back to a time in your life when something didn't go as planned. Maybe you lost a job, failed a test, ended a relationship, missed an opportunity, or faced a rejection that shattered your confidence. In the moment, it probably felt like the end of the road. You might have questioned your worth, your future, or even your purpose. That's what setbacks do. They shake us. They humble us. They test us. But what they don't do, unless we let them, is define us. Because a setback is never final. It's simply a chapter in your story, not the conclusion. What makes the difference is how you respond. You can choose to stay down, or you can decide to rise. And that moment of decision is everything, because that's where the comeback begins. The comeback isn't some magical rebound where everything suddenly works out. It's the process of slowly rebuilding, of finding strength again, vision again, self-belief again. It's waking up the next day and trying again, no matter how broken, tired, or uncertain you feel. That's the comeback. And here's the truth that most people miss. The comeback is usually greater than what you had before. Why? Because it's built on experience. It's built on lessons learned, pain endured, and wisdom earned. You become more resilient, more intentional, more focused. You stop wasting time on what doesn't matter because you've seen how quickly things can fall apart. And in that clarity, you begin building something stronger. Something that can't be shaken as easily the next time life tests you. Every successful person you admire has faced setbacks. Every champion has lost. Every leader has failed. Every creator has been criticized. But what separates them from the rest isn't that they never stumbled. It's that they refused to stay down. They saw the setback for what it was, a setup for their growth, a push toward a higher version of themselves, a lesson in disguise. When you begin to adopt this mindset, setbacks don't scare you anymore. Disappointment doesn't destroy you. Failure doesn't define you. Because now you understand that everything is working for your growth, even when it doesn't look like it. The relationship that ended made room for you to rediscover yourself. The job you lost, It forced you to chase a dream you were afraid to pursue. The rejection you faced, it redirected you towards something far better, something more aligned with your purpose. Of course, seeing setbacks as setups doesn't mean they won't hurt. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to grieve, to cry, to be frustrated. That's part of being human. But don't live there. Don't set up camp in your disappointment. Feel it, process it, and then rise from it. Because the longer you stay in the story of the setback, the harder it is to write your comeback. And your comeback is waiting for you. But you have to want it more than you want to replay what went wrong. It starts with changing your questions. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What is this trying to teach me? These questions open you up. They unlock the comeback mindset. They shift your focus from the pain to the potential. And from that place, you begin to rebuild not just your situation, but your strength, your clarity, your purpose. The beauty of a comeback is that it often surprises people. It's the moment they least expect you to rise and you do. It's the time they count you out and you prove them wrong. But even more than that, a comeback surprises you because you discover a strength you didn't know you had. You find a version of yourself that's more courageous, more driven, more alive. And suddenly the setback doesn't feel like a curse anymore. It feels like the very thing that shaped the best part of you. So when life knocks you down, and it will, remember this truth: it's not the end, it's the setup. Don't let temporary defeat convince you that your story is over. Don't let one bad chapter make you close the book. The next chapter is waiting, and it has comeback written all over it, but only you can turn the page. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to fall. But you are never allowed to quit on yourself. Not now. Not after everything you've already survived. There is power in your pain. There is purpose in your struggle. And the moment you begin to believe that, the comeback begins. Quietly, slowly, powerfully. Next time you face a setback, don't ask why me. Ask what now? That one shift changes everything. It transforms defeat into determination. It turns obstacles into opportunity. And it sets you on the path not just to bounce back, but to bounce higher than you ever thought possible. That's the comeback. And it's already inside you. I am aligned, I am enough, and I am becoming. These are not just affirmations, they are declarations of identity, worth, and growth. Say them slowly. Let them sink in. I am aligned. That means your thoughts, actions, and values are working together in harmony. I am enough, and that means you no longer have to chase external validation or approval. I am becoming. That means you understand that you are a work in progress, not a finished product. And that's a powerful place to be. We live in a world that constantly tries to convince us we're not enough, that we need to look a certain way, earn a certain amount, achieve a certain level of success before we can feel worthy. But all of that is a lie, because worth is not something you earn, it's something you recognize. You were born enough. You've always been enough, and no amount of failure, rejection, or imperfection can take that away from you. When you say, I am enough, you are reclaiming what was always yours. You are silencing the noise of comparison and planting yourself in truth. And when you declare, I am aligned, you are making a choice to live in integrity with your soul, your purpose, and your highest self. Alignment doesn't mean everything in your life is perfect. It means you're being honest with yourself. You're no longer living by someone else's script. You're not bending or breaking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. You're listening to your inner voice. You're trusting your intuition. You're making choices that reflect who you are, not who you're expected to be. This kind of alignment brings peace. It brings clarity. Because when you're aligned, you stop second-guessing yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to perform. You show up as you are, fully and freely, and that kind of authenticity attracts the right people, the right opportunities, the right energy. Alignment is magnetic. It pulls in everything that belongs to you while repelling everything that doesn't. But alignment isn't just about what you do. It's about how you feel when you're doing it. Are you drained or are you lit up? Are you forcing it or flowing with it? Your body knows. Your spirit knows. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't feel right, you fall out of alignment. Every time you betray your own boundaries, you lose a little more of yourself. But every time you choose truth over comfort, purpose over pressure, soul over ego, you get closer to alignment. Then there's the phrase, I am becoming. That might be the most powerful part of all, because it gives you permission to be in process. We spend so much time trying to be finished, trying to look polished, trying to arrive. But life isn't about arriving, it's about evolving. Becoming means you're in motion. It means you're not stuck, even if it feels like it. It means you're learning, growing, stretching, shedding what no longer fits. Becoming isn't always pretty, it's not always fast. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's confusing, you'll question everything, you'll lose people, you'll outgrow environments, you'll make mistakes. But all of it is part of the process. You're not broken, you're breaking through. Every version of you is necessary to get to this point. Even the ones you're trying to forget, even the ones that hurt you, they all played a role in your becoming. And becoming never ends. That's the beauty of it. There's no finish line. No moment when you finally have it all figured out. There will always be another level, another challenge, another layer to uncover. That's not something to fear, it's something to celebrate. Because as long as you're becoming, you're growing. As long as you're becoming, you're alive. I am aligned, I am enough, and I am becoming is a compass. It keeps you grounded and moving forward at the same time. It reminds you that you don't have to have it all figured out to be on the right path. You just have to be honest, present, and open to the journey. You don't need to fix yourself, you just need to find yourself. And the more you say these words, the more you begin to believe them. The more you believe them, the more they become your reality. And yes, there will be days when you forget, days when the world gets loud again, when old fears and insecurities creep back in. When you question your worth, doubt your path, or feel stuck in your process, that's okay. Come back to the words. Repeat them as a prayer, a mantra, a lifeline. I am aligned. I am enough. I am becoming. Say them when you're strong. And say them when you feel weak. Say them when you're clear. And say them when you're lost. Let them be the thread that weaves through every season of your life. Because alignment will carry you through confusion. Enoughness will carry you through rejection. And becoming will carry you through transformation. Together, they form the foundation of a powerful, peaceful, purposeful life. So wherever you are right now, whether you're at the beginning of your journey or deep in the middle of it, breathe. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Release the need to rush. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are right on time. You are aligned. You are enough. And you are becoming everything you're meant to be. One moment, one choice, one breath at a time. Your words carry power, and your future begins with the prayers you whisper in faith today. It's not just a poetic sentence, it's a truth that can shape your life. Most people underestimate the weight of their words. They think thoughts are harmless, that what they say to themselves doesn't matter, but your words are seeds. What you speak over your life, over your day, over your future. Those words plant something, and eventually you will live in the harvest of the language you chose. We've all heard it said, speak life. Well, what does that mean in real terms? It means recognizing that every time you speak, you're either creating or destroying. You're either building yourself up or tearing yourself down. And it starts not with how you talk to others, but how you talk to yourself. That quiet voice in your head. The one that whispers to you before you go to sleep, the one that speaks in moments of doubt or failure or fear, that voice is shaping your reality. So what if instead of repeating old scripts like, I can't, I'm not enough, I always mess things up, you chose a new narrative? What if in just 21 seconds a day, you whispered words of power, truth, and intention into your life? What if you stopped rehearsing your pain and started rehearsing your promise? This is where the prayer comes in. It's not just about religion. It's not about reciting words for ritual's sake. It's about intentionally using your voice to direct your energy, to anchor your mind, to shift your state. Because you are the first person who hears what you say. And the way you speak to yourself becomes the way you live. When you begin your day with words like, I choose peace, I am stronger, I am enough, I am guided, you are training your brain to look for evidence of those truths. You are telling your body how to feel. You are commanding your emotions to follow your intention, not the other way around. Your language becomes your leadership. And when you lead yourself with clarity, everything around you starts to align. It may seem small, saying a prayer for 21 seconds, but small things done consistently change everything. It's not about saying the words once, it's about saying them until you believe them. Saying them until they sink beneath the surface. Saying them until your mind is no longer your enemy, but your greatest ally. Repetition rewires your beliefs, and belief is the engine behind every decision you make. This is why we must be careful with casual negativity, that joke about being a failure, that comment about being unlucky, that self-deprecating remark about never being chosen. Those words feel harmless in the moment, but over time, they shape your identity. The more you speak defeat, the more you start to live in defeat. Not because it's your destiny, but because it became your daily declaration. On the flip side, the more you speak with faith, even if it's shaky, even if your voice trembles, the more your spirit begins to rise. Faith doesn't mean you have it all figured out. It doesn't mean you're fearless. It just means you believe something better is possible and you're willing to say it out loud before you even see it. That's where the power of prayer truly lies, not in asking for what you want, but in declaring who you are, even when your circumstances tell a different story. And yes, it can feel awkward at first. Saying things like, I am enough or I am aligned might feel like a lie if you've spent years believing the opposite, but keep saying it, not because you're trying to fake it, but because you're fighting back. Every word of truth you speak is a step toward freedom. You are not just repeating words, you are rewriting your story. Think of your words as bricks. Each one builds the structure of your inner world. What kind of house are you building with your words? Is it a place of fear, scarcity, and shame, or is it a space filled with courage, grace, and purpose? You get to choose. You are the architect of your belief system, and your blueprint begins with the language you use. And don't underestimate the spiritual power in speaking prayerfully. There's a reason every major faith tradition emphasizes the power of the spoken word. Whether you call it a prayer, an affirmation, a mantra, or a declaration, there is something sacred about using your breath to release hope into the atmosphere. Something shifts when you stop thinking and start speaking. Thoughts stay internal, but words create vibration. They carry energy, they activate faith. So when you whisper that 21-second prayer, even if the world is falling apart around you, even if you're afraid, even if you don't know what tomorrow holds, you are stepping into your power. You are refusing to let your circumstances write your story. You are taking the pen back into your hands and writing with intention, not insecurity. You can do it before bed, before a big meeting, in the shower, on your morning walk. You can say it in your car, in the mirror, in your heart. But just say it. Let it become your rhythm. Let it become your ritual. Let it be the way you remind yourself every single day that your voice matters. Your future listens to the words you speak now. Because your prayer today isn't just for comfort, it's a declaration of direction. It's a seed for tomorrow's harvest. It's your reminder that even in silence, even in doubt, your words carry power. And the future you want is already listening.